Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to dive into a really powerful framework for personal growth called Root to Rise. It's this incredible visual metaphor for that whole journey from our deepest needs all the way up to our highest aspirations. So let's get into it. This is a question we all ask ourselves, right? In one way or another. Is it about success? Is it happiness? Connection? Well, this Root to Rise framework, it gives us a really structured way to think about that, kind of like a blueprint for intentional growth. So the main idea here is to think of your own personal development like a tree. It's such a great metaphor because a tree's strength, its height, it all depends on what's happening both below the ground and way up in the air. And here it is, the whole Root to Rise framework. As you can see, it's built on three really distinct parts. Down at the bottom, we've got the roots. That's our foundation. In the middle, the trunk. That's our resilience. And then at the very top, you have the flourishing branches, which represent our rise. Now, let's break down each of these sections. Okay, so just like a huge, magnificent tree, all of our growth, it has to start with a strong root system. Tending to our roots just means we're consciously nourishing those foundational parts of who we are. It's the essential work that, nobody ever sees, but it gives us all our stability. This is the big question for this first phase. It really pushes us to go beyond just surface-level wants and get to the deep, underlying sources of our energy and our stability. So what feeds your roots? The framework suggests we should explore two key areas. First up, we have what are called the 5 external life root systems. Think of these as the main channels that we use to draw stability from the world around us. Health, family, relationships, career, and friends. If we neglect just one of these, our whole foundation can start to feel pretty shaky. And then, along with those external roots, we've got our internal core needs. The framework points to 6 core human needs that really drive our behavior. For example, if we're always chasing variety but we don't have any security, life can feel completely chaotic. Or if we only focus on self and being significant, but we neglect intimacy, we can feel really lonely. A healthy life is all about finding that balance and fulfillment across all of them, from that basic need for security to our drive for transcendence, contributing to something bigger than just ourselves. All right, so with our roots established, let's move up to the trunk of the tree. This represents our resilience, our core strength. It's what lets us bend in the wind without breaking. It's the critical link between our deep foundation and our highest potential. Now, the key insight here is that resilience isn't just about being tough. It's an integrated capacity. It's the synergy, the teamwork between our physical state, our mental focus, and our sense of purpose that lets us navigate all the challenges life throws at us. And this integration happens through something called the emotional triad. It shows how our physiology, our body, directly impacts our focus, our mind. Think about it. If you're slouched over and tired, it's pretty hard to focus on opportunities, right? And then what we focus on determines the meaning we get from things, our spirit. And that sense of meaning feeds right back into our physical and mental state. It's this powerful, interconnected loop that's so cool because you can jump in and change it at any point. And now we get to the canopy, the part of the tree that everyone sees. This is the rise phase. It represents our growth, our aspirations, and how we express our own unique purpose in the world. This is where we truly get to flourish. This question, wow, it really shifts our perspective from just surviving to actually thriving. It moves us past the day-to-day needs and into the world of legacy and impact. It's asking us to really consider the person we're becoming and the mark we want to leave on the world. So, how do we rise? Well, the path kicks off with connecting to our authentic selves. From there, it's about learning to weather life's storms, actively balancing our energy with things like self-care. And then finally, consciously defining and moving toward our biggest goals. Okay, so let's take a step back and see how this whole system works together. Because it's not really 3 separate stages, but one continuous, dynamic process of growth, from the roots all the way to the canopy. And here we are, back to the full picture. It just makes so much sense, right? When we tend to our roots, our life systems and core needs, we nourish a strong, resilient trunk. And that core resilience, built on that triad of body, mind, and spirit, gives us the stability to rise up and grow our canopy, reaching for our highest purpose. Every single part is essential, and every part supports the others.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. Growth isn't something that just happens to us, it's a holistic process we can actively cultivate, starting from the very ground of our being.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. Your tree of life is already growing, right now. Looking at this framework, what's one small thing you can do today, maybe to nourish a root or strengthen your core, or just reach a little higher to help it truly, truly thrive?